What's going on, y'all? So look, y'all, it's Halloween. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, okay. Now I ain't do shit this Halloween. Girl, fuck it, whatever. And then I wanted to go to the parade down in Boys Town, but by the time I get off of work and by the time I get through with this shit, it's gonna be over and done with. So good luck next time, next year, whatever. But these kids really be out here in the hood trick or treating. I didn't realize that, and they be racking the fuck up. Like I went into Walgreens today, and these little kids had like 2, 3 buckets and bags full of freaking candy. I mean, full to the brim. I said, where y'all go to? Y'all gotta do what you gotta do to hustle get this candy this time. But anyway, fuck all that. Love and Hip Hop. Hollywood, season 3, episode 12, the finale, Matrimony. Okay, girl, it starts off with Princess. She's still in her feelings because it's the week of the wedding, and I should be happy, I should be this, and I should be that. But no, I'm feeling all these emotions, and I'm in my feelings with Ray, and my mom is out and she's getting settled. Is her mama Filipino? Okay, Filipino or something. That's my first guess because I know a lot of people. I do know a lot of people who mother is always the mother for some reason. The mother is Filipino and the daddy is black. So I just assume. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But beautiful woman. And she was like, "Mama, you getting settled?" She was like, "Yes. How you doing? I'm doing good. Have you talked to your daddy?" Look. So apparently Princess has reached out to her father. She wants her father to walk her down the aisle. We already know there is barely a relationship there. And I guess she figured, I'm your only child or my mom's only child. And so therefore, wouldn't you want to see me going down the aisle and want to walk me down the aisle and then we can start working on our relationship and things of that such, And I guess he said no for right now because she said she tried to call him, no answer, no nothing. And then the mama was just like, well, maybe he feel embarrassed because he hasn't had a relationship with you when you were younger, anything like that. I mean, that's all the more reason I would want to reach out to my child if I haven't had a relationship. I mean, she's reaching out to me, so therefore, all these daddy issues. Last Saturday with Iyanla and Laura, Lyra Galore, Talira. Girl, when she said that was her name, I said Talira. Okay. And Terrence, her daddy, he was an asshole. He was a punk bitch, and that motherfucker was like in denial, like it wasn't anything. Okay, I don't have a problem. I don't need your help. The only you don't know nothing about me to assume anything about me. I mean, if my daughter felt the way that she felt, I don't know where it's coming from because it's a lie. I'm sitting here, so hey, you gonna tell her that what she's feeling is not valid because you're in denial about the shit that you've been doing. Even your wife said that you was gonna be a deadbeat and that the little girl, because you doing this show, the little girl gonna be have an absentee father just like Lyra. Like, come on, that pissed me off. He was a bitch with his one eye, fatty wop ass up in his bitch. But moving on from that, we get Tiara. She's meeting down with a new lawyer. She's meeting with her new lawyer. She was, she had to get rid of the old one. She's like, after this whole misunderstanding and me being locked up and holding for a few hours, and now I see that this shit is really real. So I need to start taking this serious. You think? I mean, you black bitch. I'm sorry, you black. You're a female, whatever. And no, let me just scratch that. You're a minority, okay? You're a woman and you're black. You're a fucking minority in 2 categories, okay? And what you need to do is understand that we don't take the police and all this bullshit lightly. This is not a joking matter, okay? So the lawyer is telling her, it's a misdemeanor, and even a misdemeanor can hold up to a year in prison. And she's got to she's trying to wrap her head around that shit. Okay, they trying to figure out whether or not they're gonna bring in some stuff about the Uber driver. If he has a background, put that out there. But girl, if you fucked his ass up, you fucked his ass up. Okay, you did it. You just don't want to admit that you was at fault. That most likely you was drunk or whatever, and playing into what everybody's been saying. Okay, fine, move on. Lil Brandy tells Ray, okay, that she was talking to Princess and Princess told her that she was getting a prenup. Now, see, we was all discussing in the comments saying, in a way, it seems like Lil Brandy, okay, we can see how Princess somewhat can be mad at Lil Brandy for telling her secret because Princess told her secret about her store to Ray. Also, Brandy told her secret to Ray also. But, if you want to be petty about it, like grow up, okay? Brandy made it seem as if this was gonna weigh so hard and so deep and so much on her spirit that she was gonna explode if she don't tell something, like the world is just gonna come to an end. That's the difference, okay? Brandy could have kept that to herself, all right? Because eventually Ray would have found out, because the lawyers would have had to speak to him or speak to his lawyers or whatever and get his information to do the prenup. So of course Ray J is in his feelings about that, and then when Princess told, um, and she told him right before the fucking engagement party, okay, the meeting of the family, all right. And when Princess told his mama that, told her mama that, she was like, I don't believe in a prenup and all this stuff, and that says a lot. And then she was like, I know, but I mean, what if one day I make $50 million and Ray has nothing? Bitch, I looked up like, excuse me? Come again. I mean, she just got her new little salon and shit, her beauty bar up, signed the lease on that. Well, it ain't running yet, but she signed the lease on that. I seen that on the shade room. But I mean, girl, you reaching, but okay, it's good to have ambitions and go. They having a little get together with all the family, and Brandy sitting there all over on Grandma Princess, and I'm just sitting there like, okay. Shit. If I'm just now meeting you and I'm meeting somebody's family, I ain't gonna be too touchy. I'm gonna sit over there by myself and I'm just observe. That's my nature, okay? But it was cool that everybody was getting along. And you can just tell when they was announcing and telling everybody to get along, and we're here to, celebrate this wedding, this union. You could just tell the tension that was going on between them. And girl Sonya Norwood, she was sitting there talking to Princess Mama and the grandma. She was like, girl, I don't understand it, but something in my spirit is just like, this can't be happening, like they not ready. And I get what Sonya just needs to cut that cord and let her son make the mistakes that he's gonna make. I don't feel like Princess and Ray J gonna be together for a long time. I think it's gonna be some more drama. I mean, look at the union of how they got getting together. It's a whole bunch of issues and all this stuff going on with it as it is. But it's not your place to say anything or to, try to break that shit up. But as a mother, I understand that you're trying to come from a place as you're looking out for your child, and you just don't feel like your child is ready, which we all feel that way, because look at the shit that's going on. But that's his decision to make. It's not yours. And he confronts her about it, the prenup, and Princess was like, well, bitch, fuck this. I don't give a shit that Brady ain't in the wedding no more. I said, okay. So, Tiara and Nikki, they was out talking or whatever, and Tiara was telling her about her experience of talking to this one girl who was being charged with first degree murder. I was like, oh shit, bitch. And she was like, I'm over here complaining about my stuff, and look at her. Like, she really got some shit that she facing. And it's like, I really need to get my shit together. So Nikki, I'm gonna be honest, I actually like this scene because Nikki was telling her what it really is. You need to get your shit together. Nikki was like, Andrew was telling me, that you wake up in the morning and you have to have a couple of shots before you even get in the shower. Like, you have a problem. And Tiara admitted that I do have a problem. And I am the only one, when she getting these questions about, when she's going to get her music put out there and all this stuff. And she has come to the realization that she is the only one she is the main reason why her music is not out there. Okay. Because she has a problem. All right. But then Nikki was like, do you think you need to go to rehab or something? No, it's something that I can do on my own. And at first I wasn't ready to do it on my own, but now I can. And that led Nikki to go into the shit about her brother. Even though Nikki was sitting up there talking about her, she was crying and shit and trying to show emotions, but baby, lay off that Botox because your face did not move. I was like, it took at least 5 minutes for the tears to come. That should have came 4 minutes ago. I'm just saying, okay. But this was a real touching scene because she was telling her the truth. You got to get your shit together before it's too late. It was just like her brother said, he had it under control, and then all of a sudden she gets a call coming to the hospital telling her that, you need to just go ahead and say your goodbyes. And she was like, I'm just telling him I wish he would wake up, wake up, wake up. And, I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to go down on that path. And, I had a moment where I was just sitting here like, damn, because, if y'all don't know, my uncle passed away, dealing with complications of alcoholism. And, it is to see somebody that you love go down that slope and just go downhill and not, get help or not, reach out and take the help that you're giving them. it's a hard thing. So I understood where Nikki was coming from, and I'm glad that Tiara received it in a positive way, you know. Because she was like, for her to compare me to her brother, that was like, man, I really need to get my shit together. You think? Bitch, okay, get your shit together, girl. Put this music out. You still got a voice on you, okay? I would literally buy a Tierra Marie record. I mean, I brought her first CD. I brought the other song that she did, I think, in the first season with Young Berg. What is it called? You Deserve. I got that, you know? So, come on, girl. We waiting. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm waiting, but I'm looking forward to it. So, whenever it's coming out, I'll be here for it. But, moving on from that, Ray J. Ray J, and Princess. I'm just sitting here like, the same way I feel about this election, cancel that bitch, okay? Just cancel that bitch, okay? We got emails popping up. We got this popping up. Y'all over here getting pissed off at each other on the day before the fucking wedding, okay? Y'all are at your his and hers joint bachelorette party, and y'all just sitting there looking like y'all finna whoop each other asses, or, you know, y'all just finna go run for the door, okay? And go each other separate ways. And, you know, Ray J is like, you know, I'm doing, oh shit, I got stuck. All right, let's get this shit back on track. You know, we doing this bachelor party, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm so mad. I said, hold up. Because Ray J almost went into old Ray J like he was finna whoop a bitch ass. And I was just like, calm the fuck down. So Princess was looking at him like, what's going on? Why you sitting there looking like this? I mean, because this shit is tired, my nigga. I'm feeling some shit because of this prenup and stuff. And she was like, bitch, if it wasn't for your mama bringing it up, I would never bring it up. And I said, true. I mean, basically what they're doing is playing tit for tat. In the beginning, Princess didn't need a didn't think about a prenup. Wasn't here for it because Ray wasn't even thinking about it. Sonya brought it to him, and Ray, being a little punk that he is to his mama, so he fell to his mama will and presented it to Princess. Princess was like, bitch, no, because that means you don't love me or whatever, you don't trust me. And then he ripped that shit up. And then now, because y'all going through some stuff, she goes and play tit for tat because Mama Norwood said, bitch, I'm not here for you. And so therefore she goes and get a prenup. So, and you know, Ray, I understand being shocked because Lil Brandy told you, but you really ain't got no, y'all started this shit, to be quite honest. And then Princess said she told Lil Brandy, she called that bitch up and said that you're not coming to my wedding. I said, what? I wish we would have saw it, you know. So he was like, you know what? And for real though, like, this shit is whack. You know, me and my niggas, we could be at the strip club making it rain and all this shit. She was like, and me and my girls can be doing the same thing. He was like, all right, Lil D, come on, y'all, let's go. She was like, so once again, I really thought that, you know, the days was gone in the past of Ray J publicly humiliating me. Girl, that's all he do on every season. Okay, up until that point, that's all he fucking do. What the fuck you talking about? What universe are you living in? This ain't your reality. You need to wake up. I'm here. Okay, there you go. And so he leaves out. She throw a pillow. Girl, her guest looking at her like, what the fuck? Then the next day, Ray pulls up in this video montage from girl, and then the music was so 90-esque in the video too. You know, y'all go look at a ballad video from the 90s and look at that slow motion shit that they do. And they be so dramatic. He gets out the car, he button up his shirt. I said, why the fuck your shirt ain't buttoned? Okay? He goes upstairs. You know what? The way the shit went down last night with Princess and me, it just had me thinking, yeah, I said I wanted to go to the strip club, and yeah, I did. I wanted to make it rain and all that stuff, but you know what? What I really did, I went to my mom's and my dad's house, and I just sat there and I thought all night. You know, I had to get my head straight, you know what I'm saying? So I showed up to show Princess that, you know, regardless of everything that we've been going through, the main thing is, baby, I want to be with you. I was like, corny ass. He really thought she was going to see him. But here's my thing. He goes up there, knock on the door. Yo, is Princess up in there? I think it was Nia who opened up the door. Nia or Lyrica. It was like, yeah, she over there getting dressed and all that stuff. But I don't know if she want to talk to you. No, I don't. Ray at the door. Okay, Ed, I don't want to talk to him. He ain't come home last night. I'm sitting here like, hold on. I'm confused. Because then he was like, yo, Princess, you don't want to talk to me? I'm here for you. I know what I want. I want you, bitch. And I was just sitting here like, so they closed the door in his face, and Lyrical was like, I mean, y'all got this shit going on. Y'all need to talk about this shit and clear the air before you get married. She was like, I'm sitting here like, why are you getting your hair done and your makeup did if y'all arguing like what? It didn't make no sense. So regardless, you don't want to see him. You mad at him. Maybe that's why she looked the way she did in her wedding pictures, because she was pissed off. You mad at him because he didn't come home the night before. You thought he went to the strip club. And you still gonna go ahead and get your hair done and go through with this girl. Whatever floats your fucking boat. Okay, y'all married now. Oh, excuse me. Keep catching me off guard, bitch. Goddamn. But anyway, so Ray J, he in his feelings. He talking to Safari and A1 and them about what happened and how Princess ain't really feeling him right then and there. I apologize, y'all. And then here come Mama Norwood. Sonya bring her ass in there. And he was like, yo, Ma, I don't even know if there is going to be a wedding. Oh, my God, there is a guy. Ooh, I said Sonya, you so here for your son. Why would you do that shit to him, okay? I know you was probably joking, but most likely you meant that shit. And your son is in a moment where that nigga literally looked like he was about to cry. I don't know if it was acting or not, but he looked like he was about to cry for a second. And you gonna do some shit like that and then want to say, I see how you look with Princess, and I know that you love her, and regardless, I'm gonna do what I have to do for my kids, and to make them feel good. So I'm gonna go talk to her. So she go talk to her, and reassure her that no, it's not that I don't like you, it's just that y'all been going through y'all shit, and I see my son, he likes you, he's in love with you, and all this bullshit, and Princess was like, I'm not trying to be your enemy, I want to be your daughter. She was like, I know, and I'm Ray is more happy when we both are together and being good with each other. She was like, I know, I want to give you grandbabies someday. And she was like, I know, and I want them like as soon by tomorrow. I want y'all to start. I looked at Sonya like, girl, if you don't stop playing. Did you notice when Princess went over there to give her a hug, right? Sonya didn't touch that bitch. Sonya was like, yeah. She gave her one of those with no hands. I said, Sonya, you still full of shit, okay? You still full of shit. Ray, he goes back and he's talking in the room with his groomsmen and all that stuff. You got the game, and I'm pretty sure the dude in the sweater shorts, he was with the white t-shirt, that was whack 100. He's a whack ass nigga if you ask me. Game, your manager plus yourself got you looking whack as fuck, because y'all still got this dumbass beef going on with Meek Mill and them. Girl, shut the fuck up, nigga. Y'all too old, too fucking old. God damn. And then was that Jackie Long in the seat? Girl, whoever the fuck. Ray up in there just talking about all his stuff and how he feeling, and the shit that was going on between him and Princess, and telling him about the prenup, and the game was like, if y'all love each other, y'all don't need no prenup and all this shit. And then here come, because he didn't know what was going on, he didn't know if the talk went well or not. Here comes Princess knocking at the door. Ray, I just want to tell you that I talked to your mom and I feel better a bit. And I still want to marry you if that's okay. I mean, I want to marry you too, shorty. Okay? Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go down to the courtyard, and tell me what's up. She was like, to the courtyard? Yeah, just go down there. I see you. I see that ass peeking through. I was like, all right. I said, okay, Ray, what you about to do? Woo! Okay, so they get ready to get married. Down in the courtyard, of course, Ray has got somehow Princess Daddy to come out there. And I was like, you know what, motherfucking really, Willie Norwood, what, girl, you did that. I'm gonna have to give Ray his shit, because when he pulled them stunts and stuff and he got Granny there and then he went and did the impossible and got the daddy there, that was all the plan. That's why he was avoiding Princess calls and shit. Had her thinking that he wasn't coming and all that shit. That was cute. That was cute, and they went on ahead and did the wedding. The wedding was cute. The little flower girls. I was like, look at this shit. All right. Brandy ass. And I'm talking about his sister, Norwood. She was just like, I said, girl, put your face back. She about to cry herself. It just struck me as odd or whatever. his daddy was the preacher, whatever, gave the nuptials and all that shit. And it was cute. She was like my one true love. When he told Princess to say that shit, she was like, "Wait a minute, say that again." I said, "Girl, you heard what he said." But it was cute. Ray shed a little tear and all that stuff. I'm not crying because of everything that went on before with us and that I'm giving up the old Ray. I'm crying because I'm really in love with this girl and this is gonna be my wife. I said, "All right, claim the bitch, okay." So, the wedding was cute. The reception was cute. Brandy got up there singing at last. Now, not my particularly favorite, performance of hers, but it was okay. She was straining a little bit. I was like, girl, just put the note out there. Oh, I hate when people do that. But okay. Lyrica, Lyrica Jr., Pam, A1, they was all together, kikiing it up. Even Lyrica, made a little jokey joke, was like, it's your mama that always doing shit, and Pam took it in stride. They was all laughing at it. And then A1 apologized for eloping with her daughter. It was real nice. So at the end, we did the little wrap up. Lyrica and A1, they still together. Tiara finna get her shit together, okay? If I say I'm gonna stop drinking, that means that I'm gonna stop drinking, and I know that I'm not gonna do it anymore. Okay, girl. Moniece was driving around in that car looking like the things. It just seemed as if just one of them days that a girl goes through was playing in her mind. Cause look, I was like, she was giving me all that old Monica tease, with the hair. But she looked like she just got out of somebody rehab and she was thirsty and her skin was dry. That's what it looked like. But Moniece is a pretty girl, so I'm not even gonna hate on that. And you claim that, you got back at all the bitches that was barking at you and you have no regrets and all that shit. I mean, hey, you did what you had to do. But, it was funny for me, all right? Was it right? Not necessarily. Was it right on their part? No, it wasn't. But it was funny for me and funny for us. And you said you're going to do whatever the fuck it is that you have to do to make you feel good. And that was to get them titties. Right in the open window. They just said, fuck it. We on a high rise top, floor. We going to have the windows all the way open. Titties for what? I don't know. You need buoyancy for a career. Girl, let me shut up. Moving on from that. Shonda and Willie, bitch. Y'all storyline fizzled out like 5 episodes ago. Soon as you kick Willie out the house, that was fucking it. Okay, we ain't hear nothing or see nothing of y'all. And girl, we don't give a shit about y'all being together or not. Okay, I'm just be fucking honest. And then this shit with Safari. People doing what they got to do and respecting me and seeing me as businessman that I am and all this stuff. And for me, sky is the limit. He's on his little video commercial set for his coconut oil. And who's sitting there with him? Nikki, baby, so I'm doing all this stuff right now. And I'm finally about to give a relationship a try. And it's like, if I can be a boss, then, I can rub off on my man and help him boss the fuck up too. I was like, all right, this fake ass shit, y'all want to keep playing with it. We're going to keep playing with it. I have never seen somebody try so hard to show that they are from a certain country or a certain ethnicity or nationality or culture or whatever you want to call it as Safari. Because, bitch, every time we see you, you got the Jamaican flag in your hand just to let us know, that that's where you from or, that's what your ancestors are, you first generation American or whatever fuck. It was irritating because at first I was here for all that. I was like, oh, maybe I want to buy some coconut oil. It is winter, ash is about to come. But at that end, when you all that patois, and it was forcing it to us and you were screaming at us, I didn't appreciate that because I felt like I got hit in my face with every fucking syllable that you came out your mouth, and it slapped me dead in my mouth, and I really wasn't ready for it, and I didn't ask for nothing to go in my mouth like that. Okay, so fuck all that. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, and I'm just looking forward to the reunion. Peace. They ain't even say shit about Fizz, bitch.